Hey everybody, Catherine here. I am a transition and wellness coach for foreigners in Tokyo, and I am here today with my friend Jennifer Shinkai, and we're going to be talking a little bit about her life. And Jennifer has so much going on in her life. She's an entrepreneur, she is a mother, she has some organizations that she's part of and that she's running, so there's so many things that we could really delve into here, and I'm really excited about it. So Jen, can you please tell us a little bit about why you decided to come to Japan and when you came to Japan, actually?
Yeah, so I came to Japan in 1999, last millennium. Yes, before when everyone talked about Y2K, like what was Y2K? I talked to some new grads a few weeks ago, and they were like, "Yeah, were you born?" So yeah, I came in '99. I planned to only come for a year as an English teacher. I saw an advert in the newspaper. That was what the times were, and after about 3 months, I decided that 1 year would not be long enough. And then after that point, I met my now husband. And I stayed.
So she stayed for love.
Stayed for love. I stayed for love. And also, but now I'm staying because it's my home.
Yeah. So what is it that you do now?
So now I run my own business. I'm a workshop facilitator and a coach, and I've been doing that for about 2.5 years. I specialize in diversity and inclusion. I use the points of view coaching game as a tool, and I try to help teams work more inclusively to get better ideas.
So for you, what would you say was the most challenging thing about deciding to live in Japan?
Deciding to live in Japan wasn't actually that difficult. I had a sliding doors moment where I had 2 interviews on the same day, and I had to decide, would I go and live in Hull, which is in the north of England, and I didn't have anyone from Hull. I didn't have a great idea that that's where I wanted to spend my life, so I thought Japan seemed kind of exotic, so I went to that interview in London, and then got the job. And my parents always said, it's only a plane ride away, so if you don't like it, just come back.
That's actually really nice. Most people I've talked to, their family has been really worried, and they're just like, yeah, they're never coming back. I don't know what happened. We thought it was just 1 year, and then we're going to see them again. But
well, I think maybe now my parents might regret that conversation, because yes, now I'm not coming back after 1 year. Although they are coming on Wednesday this week.
Very nice for the holidays.
Yes, just for a week for my son's Shichigo-san.
Oh, very nice. Why did you decide to live in Japan instead of moving your family to England?
Interesting question.
Yes.
So I definitely felt like one of the questions in the prep was, when did Japan become your home? I think definitely like after we bought a house and had kids in Japan, I felt like now I am fully embedded in this country. And just at the timing, I didn't see what was for us if we went back to the UK. And now, don't want to get political, but post-Brexit Britain, I'm not sure what it kind of holds for an international family as well. So yeah, we stayed here. My husband's originally from Kyushu, so we're both living away from our hometowns. I just find living in Tokyo is so easy.
So did you find that living in Japan before you got your house and before you were married, it was kind of up in the air about where you would be? Like there wasn't any feeling of being settled here?
So it was I think it was 2003, and I was working in the head office of this language school. I just had bamboo ceiling. I don't know where I'm going to go. I don't see the next space for me as a foreigner in this company. Right. No foreigners at the next level. There was maybe one. Role model wise, it wasn't really what I wanted to do or the role that I was interested in. So I said to Seiji, maybe I'll and then shortly afterwards he proposed as a cunning plan to keep me here.
He's like, oh no, she can't go back.
She can't go back.
Yeah. Make sure she stays here officially.
Pretty much, yeah. And I wasn't really ready to go back to England, but I didn't see what opportunities there were for me in Japan at that point, because I didn't speak Japanese very much.
Well, how long were you an English teacher for?
So I worked in the schools for 2 years, and then I worked in head office for another 2 years.
Right.
Yeah.
So a lot of people who come here, they start off teaching English.
Yep.
And after that, they kind of realize, what am I going to do? Because they don't really think that English might necessarily be the career that they wanted to have. If anything, it was just a means of coming to Japan and kind of exploring the area. So for you wound up getting into HR and recruiting.
Yes.
After that. So what was what were your thoughts that you were going through when you decided to make a career change?
Okay, this is going to sound really bad. I'll say anyway. So the English teacher to recruiter career path is also quite a common one for, I don't know if it is now, but when it was that time in my career, 2003, 2004, for people to like get out of English teaching but stay in Japan and make a bit more money. I applied to the recruitment company that I ended up joining as a candidate because I wanted a role in HR in training.
Yes.
They said, but how about getting some sales experience and coming to work for us? I don't feel like I take like much thought about my career change. It sounds really flaky, but I went on to work at that company for 12 years.
12 years?
12 years, yeah. And I had basically 5 different roles during the time I was there, and the company changed massively. Great learning experience.
So what made you decide to be an entrepreneur?
So after the 12 years, I was like, something is missing. And I wanted to go back to L&D, back to training that I had done in the recruitment company and at the head office of the English conversation company I worked at. And I looked around and I was talking to an HR mentor, and he said to me, the job that you're looking for doesn't exist in-house. And because I worked in a recruitment company, I was able to like check all our clients. I was like, yeah, it doesn't exist in-house. He said, you don't have to start your own company. I can't start my... my husband to check that he was okay to take a little bit of the financial burden in the startup phase, and he was, and he's very happy now because my business is going so well. He's been able to change his job, and he starts his new job today.
Really? Wow, that's so exciting. Yes. And I'm so glad that you started being an entrepreneur, because otherwise I wouldn't have met Jen. Yeah, that's how we met. We met through Jen's led entrepreneur circle called Lean In. So if you've heard of the book Lean In, they have chapters in different cities where entrepreneurs can get together and talk about, well, entrepreneurship. Yes. What to do for your business. How did you learn Japanese?
I saw that question. How did I learn Japanese? So when I first came to Japan, I was very diligent, and I went to, I had a one-on-one lesson once a week, Japanese for busy people, and taking the JLPT, and it was a different, starting at level 4 back in the day. I continually fail my level 1, but I'm able to do business in Japanese, but not contracts or writing. So I just, went to school, and then I did a couple of test preparation classes with a colleague, so we went together, had some business teachers. I've had various teachers, but I would say I haven't formally studied now for 3 or 4 years. I've just kind of given up. I've gone, it's enough.
Do you speak mostly with your husband in Japanese or in English?
So we speak English in the home and Japanese outside. Okay. Because we want the kids to be bilingual.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, that's really smart.
Something like 20%?
Yes.
20% in the minority language.
You need 20%? Okay.
And they go to Japanese school.
About that. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's right. So they go to Japanese school. Yeah. What has been your biggest challenge being a foreigner here in Japan?
Play to them as a strength. I'll never fit in. I talked about the PTA. I'm able to play the card when I want to, and I think there were times when I got really frustrated about it and felt very othered all the time.
Right.
But now I'm just like, do you know what? It's how I respond. It's all good. So
yeah, I've definitely been through that myself, and I hear that a lot too. It's like initially when you come to Japan, you make so much effort to try to do things the way they do it and to try to fit in, but ultimately at the end of the day, if you don't got the Japanese face,
it.
then probably not going to work out.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for people who are thinking of living in Japan? What do you wish you had known before you moved here?
It's only a plane ride away. If it doesn't work out, go home.
Yes.
Just try it. Find out if you like it. Learn something about yourself, and then if it really doesn't work out, then you can leave.
Yeah, you have options. It's not like
nothing is forever.
The sentence for the rest of your life. Just come and enjoy and see how it goes.
Just know that although in many ways things are very advanced and it's clean and all of those things, change is very slow. And I remember there was a teacher when I was working at the head office, and she had assumed that because people spoke English, it meant that they had an international mindset, and I was like, no, there's not. It doesn't equal the same thing.
Right.
So just be patient and be open, and ready to see a different point of view, I think is the important thing.
Yeah.
Don't get frustrated, it won't get you anywhere.
Right, absolutely. So are there any resources that you think people should know about that really helped you make a difference in your life when you came here? You already mentioned a few,
Yes.
like some about the Facebook groups
Yes.
they're part of, so maybe we could just sum all of that up.
So, well, I think coming to Japan now versus when I came in 1999, when the internet wasn't really a thing.
Right. Uh-huh.
There was like people joke still about faxes. Like there were only faxes when I first came to Japan. And I was doing an inbound expat, working with Japanese people session. And I was like, wow, actually, it's so much easier for you now. So so Facebook groups, Tokyo Expat Network is awesome for general. Tokyo Mothers Group. What else? The Tokyo Pregnancy Group. You think babies. There's loads of like different special needs and like meetups. So I think if you're looking to meet different people as well, like looking on PTX, looking on Meetup, and just find like-minded souls. Like I'm in a running club, and I've been in that running club for 2 or 3 years, and really changed my life.
Yes.
And it was, I found them just because they were running noisily, and then I was like, have a little search for Sumida Running Club, and
And you found it there?
And I found them.
I think like Meetup is so great because you can meet international people on there, or you could also just join groups of Japanese people.
Yeah.
So it's a great way to, either way you want to go. If you want to immerse yourself with Japanese people, that's fine. If you just want to get involved and meet more international people, it's a really good resource for that too. Yeah.
And then, some ward offices have English support, or actually different language support, so find out the days and get that information.
Yeah.
And there was one other thing that I was going to say, and I cannot remember. Oh, yes, it's always Freshers Week.
It's always what?
Do you remember Freshers Week you have?
No.
So in the UK, when you go to university, Freshers Week is like the first week of term.
Yes.
So you have to put yourself out there to meet people. Otherwise, you just get like pulled into your job.
Right.
You'll be probably working long hours. Your colleagues are kind of one part of your life, but go out and meet people, and then probably your Japanese colleagues will stay, but your international friends are going to be moving, and you need to get used to that cycle, and of course make like deep friendships, but also, God, it sounds really cold, but just be aware that people's lives take them in different spaces. It's not rejection of you, right? But always be just like expanding your network and meeting different people, and as you grow up, that's when your interests change and people's lives change. So
That's true.
it's always Freshers Week.
Okay, that's a really good way of putting it, because this is a topic that we've covered in actually many of the interviews, is like you have to constantly make sure that you're doing the networking.
Yeah.
It's super, super important if you're going to be living here as a foreigner. So what is the best way that people can keep in touch with you, or maybe if they wanted to reach out and ask a question, maybe something on social media, what's the best way to connect?
So you can reach me on www.jennifershinkai.com, or on Facebook on Jennifer Shinkai Coaching, and also on LinkedIn you can connect with me, Jennifer Shinkai as well. Thank you.
I'll go ahead and I'll leave the links in the description below. Okay,
I'm
so
watching
thank you
too
so
much of my kids' YouTube.
I know. Make sure you like and you subscribe. Yes, and you share and do all that good stuff. So thank you so much, Jen. I really appreciate it.